Connor's company, Chris Miner, actually is able to take the first game here. Over Is It Wizards.
That's certainly possible.
Yeah, that is a big win. As you mentioned, they can play more of a fair deck post board.
Ooh, and this is actually a big one. This list, there's a little bit. There's a lot you can actually do when you're playing a Court of Calling deck, and what Miner has, 4 main deck Knight of the Reliquary, that's a huge issue for a deck that's full of lightning bolts.
Yeah, card pretty easily makes it to 4/4.
Yes. Main deck Knight of Autumn can gain life. Courser of Krufix, another big problem, just 4 toughness.
How many Courser is he running here?
Just 1 in the main deck, and it looks like that's going to be it. So, whether it showed up or not, couldn't tell you. Ooh, and a main deck Shalai, Voice of Plenty. This is just a high volume of stuff that Rieth can't deal with.
I've really liked the main deck Shalai I've been seeing in Counter's Company. Kind of a tutorable Gavany Township effect is pretty nice for the deck.
Right. Yeah, so when we bill it at Counter's Company, that front billing there, the combo, pretty poor against Wizards. But
yeah.
The B squad here, the backup roster, the peripherals, they're all really strong against Lightning Bolt decks.
Do you board out things like Vizier of Remedies in this situation?
I'd be inclined to. The powerful elements here are all these 3-mana creatures with high toughness. Drawing multiple copies of Vizier is definitely not something I'm interested in.
I guess so. Going for matchups, you played Is It Wizards. So, like the green-white company, the value deck, that's generally a difficult matchup?
Kind of. That deck's a lot weaker, so that matchup I don't mind as much. This deck threatens a little bit different axes. Like, it has main deck Walking Ballista, which is a huge issue for the Wizards deck.
Yeah, I was wondering whether Chris wanted to try to kind of morph into that deck.
Yeah, you want to be a little bit closer to that.
We'll go on to start game number 2. Jordan with what should be pretty good in this matchup. A turn 1 Grim Lavamancer is at the ready. Now, he hasn't really done a great job of filling the graveyard.
Yeah, he has a fetch land, so that starts getting him to Lavamancer. What he wants to have is some other creatures that are better at attacking. Grim Lavamancer can deal with a lot of cards in the Counter's Company deck. An important role that it fills is combining with Lightning Bolts to take care of these high toughness creatures, and that's why the Lavamancer is going to be so important. If Miner can track down his Walking Ballista and take care of that Grim Lavamancer, that'd be a pretty significant win. Looks like leading on Duskwatch Recruiter, that's a turn 2 play.
Sure.
Rieth does kind of want to answer this, or at least cast a spell on his turn, because the Recruiter transforming into a 3 toughness creature kind of makes a mockery of the Lavamancer at least. Recruiter itself a little bit weak in this matchup.
Yeah, I mean, casting one into the onboard Grim Lavamancer, it feels like it's just going to get shot down.
Right. And the deck does play a lot of creatures of that nature, and you can't get off all of them. You're going to want to leave in... You can't board out your whole combo, your Devoted Druids and your Vizier. So you kind of want to go lighter on Vizier, maintain your Druids because they're so good with Court of Calling, but you got to keep your Noble Hierarchs, your Birds of Paradise. There's going to be targets for Grim Lavamancer. Deck also has some Tireless Trackers. Those are appealing targets for Grim Lavamancer.
Fetch here for Jordan. He will have the requisite 2 cards to shoot down this 2/2. Hasn't added additional pressure just yet. Taking a look over at Miner's hand. Looks like we have a Court of Calling and a couple lands. And Collected Company as well. So Duskwatch Recruiter is gone. And Jordan going to continue to add to the board. This is Young Pyromancer.
It's a significant addition.
And you mentioned here 2 lands in the graveyard, and that is just so important, as the play here from Chris Miner is Knight of the Reliquary on turn 3, starting at a 4/4.
Yeah, I have spotted a Lightning Bolt in Rieth's hand. If he has something like Opt into Lightning Bolt, that'll be 2 cards in the graveyard. Then you can bind the Lightning Bolt with the Grim Lavamancer to take care of the Knight. So you'd like to have a 6 toughness there.
I assume if it's possible to kill the Knight of the Reliquary, you just have to do it?
Absolutely. Because it's not going to be possible later.
Yeah,
tell you that much.
Once it untaps. If they don't have any unsummons or anything, it's burn it or nothing.
Right.
Looks like Jordan will be able to do the first there. cracks a fetch land to get 1 card in the graveyard. That Lavamancer doing some work.
And the way the game's going, Rieth hasn't demonstrated any flying attackers, so his clock is not that fast. And if you don't take care of the knight and you're not applying that much pressure, it's not hard for Miner to turn the corner and just start attacking you.
Here is Lightning Bolt. Rieth's hand's pretty good here. Opt Lightning Bolt Mana Leak, looks like. So he'll bolt the Knight of the Reliquary. He can finish it off with the Lavamancer and still leave up that Mana Leak. However, he's going to opt to make a second token.
Yeah, seeing as he had the fetch land, if you have Bolt Mana Leak, I'm pretty sure you should just leave up the Mana Leak. A second Knight of the Reliquary alone could be disastrous. Collected Company also just a huge problem. Yeah, so there's Lavamancer taking it down. It'll cost another mana, though.
Yeah, he has to pay the mana for that, and we'll make sure that happens.
Yeah, so we'll make sure that mana gets tapped, because that's a very serious issue there. Can't leave up the Mana Leak.
Yeah, so Mana Leak is down. And it will be another Knight of the Reliquary from Chris Miner. This one still looks like to be a 4/4. That 4th land was not a fetch.
5/5, but functionally very similar. 2 fetch lands are in the graveyard. Oh, you're right, 5/4/4. I don't know why I was thinking it was a 3/3. 2 effects anyway.
Sure.
2 effects.
I mean, it's usually a 3/3.
Yeah.
See, does Jordan have the material to shoot it again? He does not. Now Chris gets to untap with Knight of the Reliquary.
Can't even make an attack with his elementals here. And that opt over leaving up Mana Leak, it's going to cost him.
Well, it's going to cost him double, because when this Knight of the Reliquary is available, Mana Leak stops being a good card.
I mean, it stops being a good card just because he's on the battlefield, but yeah, it can also just sacrifice lands to produce additional mana.
End step is a static caster from Jordan. He takes down the Mana Leak, and now this is a window where Chris can cast either Collected Company or Court of Calling. He's deciding which one he wants to do.
So he has enough. He could Chord for 3 here. I'd be pretty inclined to just Collected Company. The Chord also gets better once you know what your company finds.
Yeah, that was my thought as well. Now he's letting the Izzet Statcaster resolve. Now it's going to try to shoot the Noble Hierarch, and we may see a response here. Does he have a way to save it?
Shalai, Voice of Plenty, though he can't Chord for that. He doesn't have the materials for that, and you can't Company into that either.
Noble's down. Is he going to let Jordan untap?
That would
he does!
definitely
Oh,
be
no!
another error. Yeah, just kind of playing into Mana Leak here. Though Rieth played in a way where it didn't seem like he had it. So we're kind of hunting back and forth here.
Yeah, if you're assuming there's no way he has Mana Leak, that makes sense. But Chris is going to fail to convert on the... Well, I don't want to say it because I guess the lands could get tapped again.
We'll see what happens. There's a lot of lands here. This is too many lands for the Wizards deck. Won't be able to do too much with it.
And a bit of a case of just playing everything on the end step is going to catch this Collected Company for Chris. And Jordan gets the Elemental token.
Yeah, pretty serious cost for Miner, and there are so many Elemental tokens now as well. Though for the time being, the Knight does push back on the attacks. Rieth didn't have any good attacks there, and the Chord could add another good creature to the battlefield. Even just cording up Eternal Witness, getting back the Collected Company.
As far as lands here, we have Horizon Canopy, and that's one we'll get. Gavany Township, 2 Ghost Quarters, and a Tectonic Edge as the singleton sources. Otherwise, now the Reliquaries being pretty honest and just getting additional lands.
Right. And this is not a matchup where Ghost Quarter or Tectonic Edge really amount to too much.
Birds of Paradise, the draw for Miner.
Pretty weak draw, but it's mana neutral on the Court of Calling.
Yeah, I mean, the Staticaster is happening, which is going to... Don't know that he'll commit it. Looks like he will. Says go. And Jordan attempts to shoot it, and now it looks like Chris is going to go for a Court of Calling. It feels like this is Shalai.
Yeah, floats a mana with the Knights, so he's getting 3 floating here, and then Convoke the Bird to be a 4th.
Yep, that's exactly enough. If it resolves.
Yeah, and the Shalai also does a good job of checking the attackers.
And for that mana source, he does get Gavany Township. Now, actually, Ryan, so there's 1 mana floating. when he activates Knight of the Reliquary, if in response Jordan Lavamancers the bird, then Chris can't use it to Convoke.
That is true.
Let's see exactly how this plays out. And I think that's what he's going to do. So
yeah, and now the knight
it's 3,
really
right?
awkwardly tapped.
Oh, yeah, it is tapped, isn't it? What a good window to find by Jordan when he floats the mana and then taps Knight, say, wait, let me count what's going on here. Kill your bird. That was a really heads-up play from Jordan.
He drew a lightning bolt. He has 5 points on the ground coming across. That would put Miner to 9. And then you're in a position, you fire off the lightning bolt, make it 6, and you can just attack. You have the Lavamancer 2.
I didn't like taking down the Mana Leak, but Jordan has more than made it up with that Lavamancer play.
Yeah, once Miner just didn't respect the possibility of Mana Leak, that was more than made up for.
Yeah, and now Miner down to 9. The tapped Knight of the Reliquary means Jordan can push all this damage. And suddenly that burn in his hand plus the Lavamancer may be able to finish it out.
This is a fine draw. Courser Crufix picked up for Miner. He took a lot of damage.
Yeah, the 2-4. See, Jordan has an opt. He has a bolt. He can bolt plus Lavamancer take care of the Courser, and he might have to Chris up to 10 off that fetch land.
Yeah, it's an additional blocker which slows down these Pyromancer beatdowns.
Jordan has 3 cards in hand. It looks like we have an opt, a bolt, and then a third blue card.
Ooh, and this is an attack with the Knight of the Reliquary.
Well, let's count it up. It's got a 1/1 counter from the Township. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards in graveyard. Lands in graveyard, rather. So this is an 8/8 Knight. And it looks like Vendilion Click from Jordan. He'll look at Chris's card. Target Chris. It's Court of Calling. Bit surprised he let this happen. Could have just cast it for 1.
He could have courted for a bird.
Okay, there's an Electromancer in play, right?
Yeah.
That's not great. Draws into the Noble Hierarch. And we'll see. Jordan just took the hit.
And that flying creature is a big deal now. Miner still has that lightning bolt left over.
Yeah.
A lot of elemental tokens. He's pretty fine throwing some away, and there's only 1 blocker now. I think he has just lethal on his turn.
Yeah, end step, he's going to shoot up. He's going to bolt. He's going to opt. He's going to get 2 more elementals. Doesn't have the mana to use Lavamancer.
That's fine. He has it now.
Yeah, that's the important part.
So you block the Pyromancer. There's 4 elementals and a Vendilion Click. I don't think we've adjusted the life total for that lightning bolt yet. I believe Miner at 7 now. Yeah, they count him up, and we're going to game 3.
Some good turnaround play there from Jordan Rieth. And that will send it to a 3rd.
Yeah, Mana Leak really carrying there, countering that collected company was a big deal.
Some updates on our other players in the top 8. Caleb Shear, Jadine Klimperns, Will Pulliam, Cody Goodwin, Charles Seedberry on Bant Spirits defeats Abe Stein. We have Becky Edelman, so 6 players in. 6 different decks, looks like as well. Storm, Jund, Amulet, Burn, Bant Spirits, Scape Shift. The winner of this one will be a 7th. We might have a full 8 for 8. That last spot could go either. Actually, we may have just 8 different decks no matter how it goes.
Wow.
Last spot is either Humans, Azorius, or Krark Clan Ironworks.
Sounds like a modern top 8.
Anytime you have any top 8 with 8 different decks, I'm pretty interested.
Yeah, could have some pretty sweet things happening.
For Is It Wizards there, we kind of saw, I think, where you're saying that this is just a decent matchup for the deck. Chris made a couple Knight of the Reliquaries, which looked great. But on top of that, just this tempo, the fact that Grim Lavamancer doesn't get answered. Grim Lavamancer looked great. the Young Pyromancer doesn't get removed. There's these high synergy cards that, because the Counters Company doesn't have answers to, just do so much work for Jordan.
Right. We've seen some play patterns this weekend that kind of demonstrate, when we've had Rieth on camera, that it's been too long since Mana Leak has been good.
Yeah.
We've seen a lot of playing into Mana Leak. And that really is Rieth's most important card when it comes to cards like Collected Company, Knight of the Reliquary. That's the cleanest way for him to break that up. Drawing that one of Grim Lavamancer also very important in that game.
Looks like mulligans for both players here for the third game. Well, what I like is that neither deck has too very much in the way of 2-for-1s here. I mean, you have Collected Company out of Chris Miner's deck, and you have Eternal Witness. But Jordan Rieth, so what happens, you'll trade some early cards, and then Jordan has these cards that kind of trade and then do more. So like Young Pyromancer continues to upgrade all your future cards.
Yeah. Yeah, both decks have these kind of minor value things. Young Pyromancer and Snapcaster Mage for the Wizards deck. For the Counters Company deck, you can convert Collected Company, stuff like Eternal Witness. It's kind of the thing where I would say that both decks mulligan very similarly. I would not be thrilled to have fewer cards in the matchup on either side.
All right, so started for game 3. Miner on 5, Rieth on 6. Miner on the play. See if he can put something together. And Rieth says, hold on, I have to scry. I'll make sure you get that out of the way. Noble Hierarch, turn 1 for Chris Miner. Looks like his hand is 3 lands, Hierarch, and a Court of Calling. It's actually pretty decent.
Right. If it's good to bolt the bird on a 7-card hand, it's great to bolt it on a 5.
Well, he has another, it looks like Devoted Druid from Miner.
Okay.
Remaining 2 cards, actually it wasn't 3 lands, so it's Court of Calling, Birds of Paradise. You're close to making infinite mana.
Yeah, so with Devoted Druid, if he gets to untap with it, that's 4 mana. It's 1 shy with, if he has a land, that means he can find Vizier, but he would need land plus something to do with infinite mana.
He'd make Birds of Paradise.
Yeah.
That is what he would do with infinite mana currently. Second land from Jordan. Is that Walking Ballista? No, it is Noble Hierarch. Almost. Not not exactly. He'll make both the other mana creatures, Birds of Paradise and Noble Hierarch. Pass. Last card's Court of Calling, but he's got the mana. Jordan's side. It's like just going to crack a fetch land. Nothing really worth countering yet. He had a Mana Leak, Ryan. Just didn't spend it.
These are not worth.
Yeah. It's going to be hard to Mana Leak the Chord because it's at instant speed always.
Right. Though if Rieth just keeps making land drops, then it's actually kind of trivial to Mana Leak the Chord.
Okay. Oh, this game we just play some land go for a bit?
Right. If you get stuck on lands, you find yourself at this tension point where it's like, ugh, I really need to Mana Leak something, but I also really need to cast some spells. But if you just keep making land drops, you find a window, just 1 more land means you can Lightning Bolt the Devoted Druid, leave a Mana Leak if you have the removal spell. Or cast something like a 1-mana wizard, Delver of Secrets.
Plays Mutavault, passes. This leaving up mana. I do like what's happening. On Chris's side, we're just going to have a bit of a face-off for a bit. He'll cast another Devoted Druid.
And this does not take him off of courting for Vizier, which I would expect him to respond to this Vendilion Click with, or at least find something with it.
And Jordan took down Mana Leak here, which feels bad. However, with so many mana creatures on Chris's side, I'm just not sure that Mana Leak's going to be live anymore.
Right. You'd be untapping with the ability to play Collected Company through Mana Leak, and if you think that's the card, you're getting it with this.
So he chords for 2. Looks like Vizier of Remedies is going to be the play. Do you like that more or less than just getting something like Knight of the Reliquary or Courser of Krufix or Shalai?
He only had the mana to get to 2 here in response to the click. Oh. So you could find like Duskwatch Recruiter.
Okay.
I think you just get Vizier, hope that these play patterns, that Mutavault means that Rieth just
Yeah.
doesn't have a removal spell, though Rieth does have some luxuries afforded by you being so light on cards. But I think you just try to get lucky.
He went for Scavenging Ooze here. Another different 2-drop.
See, that one's fine. There's
Yeah,
only one creature in the graveyard so far, but if it gets to start going, it's good.
I did actually like when you mentioned getting Duskwatch Recruiter. That makes some sense. If you're losing to a Lightning Bolt either way, you may have better outs if you get to untap with Duskwatch.
Yeah, if there were 2 creatures, the Scavenging Ooze would have been more appealing. It's
Yeah.
okay here.
A swing for 3 sends Miner to 14. We'll see if Jordan has some removal. Still has a fair number of cards here. Looks like 4 in hand. Remember, he was on a 6-card hand, and we'll make Young Pyromancer and pass.
So he's leaving up Mana Leak, though it's going to be pretty tough to Mana Leak anything from here.
I don't even know. Can you even Mana Leak Collected Company anymore?
So we have 4, 5. I think he only has 6 with the Devoted Druid activation because he's used
That's-
one already.
I know he's got another Druid, though. It's 7, right?
Well, he's used one already. So you
1, 2,
have
3,
3,
4.
4, 5, 6. Oh, you do get to 7. Okay. Yep. That double hierarchy I was counting as something else.
Scavenging Ooze swings in. It'll eat a creature. Go up to 3/3. Chris gains life. Goes to 15. Still has 1 card in hand. Just going to pass. Jordan has to have something, though, as he just untaps. Draws Mountain.
Yeah. He's gotten the Opt. Still has that Mana Leak.
Still feels like he's playing from that he's ahead right now. He's playing from a spot of strength, though it's gotten noticeably closer.
He's attacking in for 3 versus 4 off of that Exalted Scavenging Ooze, though he is the deck with the burn spells.
Right. And he still has some cards in hand left.
Right.
Hits Chris down to 12, and Jordan fetches to 15.
Depending on what's in the hand, I would kind of like to start seeing the Mutavault come in. Just none of these creatures do any good blocking.
Yeah, Mutavault's not blocking, and it might as well be attacking. I guess.
And
I think it'd be.
I would also attack with the Young Pyromancer, like definitely that one.
Yeah.
Because if Miner casts a spell, that means you get to Mana Leak it. And these creatures currently don't block the Pyromancer.
Nothing. Yeah, it's 0/1s and 0/2s. Here is a Braid on Scavenging Ooze. That'll make a Elemental and kill the Scavenging Ooze. Chris running off the top again, and he has, is this another Chord? Looks like it might be, but this one can get Mana Leaked.
Right.
Chord for 3. Yeah, Jordan has been waiting for this one, and it's countered. He'll get another Elemental. A big turn cycle here for Jordan Rieth.
Right. Important draw step for Miner. Shields are down if he finds something like a Collected Company here.
Yeah, it's got to be something good, though. That is not it. It's land. The only land he would be happy to draw there would be Gavany Township.
Right. Yeah, he's enough creatures where that could be interesting.
Now Jordan can push ahead. Here's Delver of Secrets. At this point, you're pretty inclined just to swing everything, huh? There's nothing does anything.
And Miner even played the land, so you know there's nothing tricky happening.
Miner takes his free block, but takes 6. He drops to 6. It's 1 point away. Jordan's going to give him a draw step. Chris down to 5. And here it looks to be another Chord of Calling. Can it get countered? It will be... Actually, no. Walking Ballista for what looks to be 4.
Important op for Rieth.
Yeah, absolutely.
This shoots down the Vendilion Click, the Young Pyromancer, the Delver of Secrets.
And we got to count, though. If Jordan has enough instants, it's actually still lethal. So it resolves. But count this up here, Ryan. We have a Mutavault, we have a Vendilion Click, we have a Delver. I don't know if he can afford... We have...
I think you have to take care of the Young Pyromancer and the Delver now because they potentially represent more damage.
When an opt-in
there's a
response... So we have 6 creatures that could possibly attack this turn. Chris can block 1 and shoot 2.
So you take care of the Delver now. I think you have to before the trigger resolves. Otherwise, it's going to be a 3 that you can't block.
Yeah, he scryed to the top.
No, he scryed to the bottom, and he also always just draws it with Opt. You can't set up Delver with that one.
Oh, you're right.
But, ooh, it looks like he didn't do it, but was paid off because Rieth just missed.
Yeah, I mean, Chris can survive this turn, but it's not pretty. 6 attackers, right? So we have to block 1, shoot the Delver, shoot a token.
Yeah, go to 2. You're dead to any Lightning Bolt.
Wizard's Lightning does it. So congratulations to Jordan Rieth. That Wizard's Lightning sends him into the top 8.
Yeah, is it Wizards? Not really a deck anybody was talking to going